Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Mallory Wakida, and this is my digital marketing plan for the brands called Legends. Let's begin by talking about their audience. So, Legends demographic is comprised of athletic men between the ages of 18 to 24 and 25 to 34. Legends has done product testing on professional athletes across the MLB, NFL, and the NBA, showing the commitment to producing high-quality activewear for the athletically driven. This demographic would likely be comprised of men who take a strong interest in fitness and fashion combined. Let's begin by talking about their identity. So this was what I came across on the Legends blog. A legend is someone whose style, skills, and behavior extends beyond all space and time. Whether you excel on the fields, court, track, gym, classroom, office, or just everyday life, you are a legend of our own legacy. These are the words we live by. We strive daily to be the best versions of ourselves. And our in-house team comes with over a decade of experience across fields of manufacturing, design, marketing, and top national sports. We've made it our goal to join all of our forces to bring the most progressive, fashionable, and comfortable elevated apparel for the everyday. All right, so even though I actually really loved how they wrote it, I decided to do a revision to the brand narrative. So here's what I wrote instead. Hashtag we are legends. We work hard and we stay humble. We believe in revolutionizing the world of performance wear. With the best interest of the modern day athlete, we offer game-changing designs like a 4-way stretch fabric, moisture-wicking technology, body odor control, and durability in high-intensity workouts. Our looks can be taken just about anywhere where you shine as a legend. Our products have been tested by professional athletes across the NBA, MLB, and NFL to ensure the highest quality in our products. With growing support within the professional sports space to our favorite music artists like Justin Bieber and Jack Harlow, we come together and stand strong as legends. So ultimately, I chose to rewrite this for one of two reasons. The first being they really hyped up the idea that it's about you as a legend shining in whatever space you may be in. So rather than going through the extensive saying of, oh, the gym, the classroom, whatever, I kept it short and sweet as where our looks can be taken just about anywhere where you shine as a legend. Simple, done. And then the second reason why I chose to rewrite it was because they actually have different phrases kind of scattered across their website and their Instagram account. The first one being we work hard and we stay humble. That is on their bio on Instagram. However, I don't see that anywhere else. And then hashtag we are legends. I see that on their website, but nowhere else. So I wanted to streamline these two phrases into their brand narrative just to keep it consistent and just so it ultimately captures the look that they're going for, which is we work hard, we stay humble, and hashtag we are legends. Ultimately, really kind of showing like, these phrases aren't going to waste and they are being used in the context of the brand narrative. All right, so let's talk about SWOT analysis. This is a bit long, so I'm going to go ahead and keep it as short as possible, and then I will tackle some of these concerns in later slides. So when it comes to strengths, the strengths are that they have a clear story of who they are and what they have to offer. The next is they have support from ESPN, Hypebeast, Bleacher Report, and Forbes, so they really capture the earned and shared aspect of peso. The next is when you Google search legends, their website is indeed the first thing that comes up. The next is that they celebrate diversity, and they make that very apparent on their website through showcasing all the past diverse projects that they supported, such as the Black Lives Matter movement, as well as celebrating Pride Month. And then lastly, they are very consistent with their product offerings. So in other words, they are very tried and true with athletic wear, and there's no products coming out of left field where it's like, oh, like, why are they selling that? It all makes sense, and it is very much captured. All right, now let's talk about weaknesses. So the first weakness is that I cannot find their history or backstory anywhere. It is not on their product website, and it is not on their blog. The next is that their blog actually acts as a separate entity, and it's very difficult to find. The next is that they're inconsistent with social media postings. They will go 2 days, 3 days, or even 4 days without posting. I'm not sure if this is intentional, but it makes them look like they're almost like inconsistent or they don't really care. The next is that they have a lack of social media presence with the exception of Instagram. I was shocked that they had a LinkedIn, but of course, not super active. And they actually did have a Facebook, but again, not super active. Next is lack of clarity of what makes the brand unique. I really do think they should really emphasize the fact that they do product testing with professional athletes, because I think this is not only really cool, but it's also very unique. Like you don't really hear about other like athletic wear companies that are doing this and have that kind of support. So why not hype it up? Like this is what makes them special. And then as for opportunities, the first opportunity is syncing the blog with the website. So just, have your one-stop shop where then people can read the backstory, read all the different unique articles that you have, and just kind of, everybody knows it's all in one place. Next is featuring more links to article features or earned media. So in other words, they can kind of establish credibility where it's like, hey, check us out. We were in this Forbes article. I think that's a really great place to really hype yourself up. Next is more features of celebrities wearing legends. Even though they already do this to some extent, they also feature an awful lot of just standard product photos on their Instagram, which don't really generate as much engagement because at the end of the day, people like seeing faces and especially faces of famous people. So definitely something worth hyping up a lot more. Next, I'll talk about this later, but a brand ambassador program, which will feature paid professional athletes to hype up legends. And then lastly, they should definitely consider more video content on social media, considering they don't have a lot right now. And video content is known to generate engagement, which I think is something that they could definitely use. All right, let's talk about threats. So for threats, the first one is Legends losing its known name to another Legends type brand. I did see, as I stated before, I didn't realize they actually had a Facebook for the longest time because there were actually other brands or small businesses that also use the name Legends. So it's really important to make sure that this Legends always stays on top and people know about it. The next is that Legends actually doesn't engage with any of their people who comment on their Instagram posts at all. There's no like, no comment, no reply, nothing. And this isn't great in the sense where it looks like they don't care or that people's business aren't wanted. So they ultimately really need to change that. I think that could also fall under the category of weakness, but definitely a huge threat because people will be like, oh, well, my business isn't wanted here. I'm going to go somewhere else. The next is that just really making sure that there's that brand awareness because celebrities that do wear the product, they'll be like, oh, like, where can I find that? And then the next day they're wearing Nike and then someone's like, oh, I think it's from Nike. And then they won't be able to find it. So really just making sure that people see like celebrities wearing Legends, be like, oh, that's Legends, right? Like, I'm going to go buy that right now. And that's not something that gets lost in communication. Next is that people may choose brands with easier customer service. So when you go on the official product website, they actually don't have like a very professional like customer service thing. It's pretty much just like, oh, just call this number. People don't like that. So just really making sure that there's like maybe some form of like faster help that they can receive. And then lastly, lack of a strong social media presence. There's so many brands out there that are already, going all over the place, but Legends just so happens to really be sticking to Instagram, which can be a major threat to their business. All right, and then I just wanted to quickly add this in here. This is an example of earned media. This is Floyd Mayweather, as we all know, and he is wearing head-to-toe Legends. And this article from Forbes not only hyped up the fact that it's Floyd Mayweather, but also the fact that Legends is a wonderful brand. Like it talks about specifically the Luca short, which he's wearing here. And on top of that, it like really hypes up like other products like the Hawthorne hoodie. It hypes up like what it's made of and even like other products like the seal bag. So ultimately, this really goes to show that Legends doesn't fall short on the earned and shared media. Like people are already giving them like all the hype, all the credit, and Legends doesn't really even need to speak for itself for its products. All right, let's talk about key messaging. So I identified 3 places for key messaging. The first one is that products are tested and approved by professional athletes. Cannot stress that enough. The next is that it is wearable as street fashion, but also durable for the gym. So you get the best of both worlds. The third and final one is that you do not have to look drab while working out. So in other words, these clothes were not designed to be like your ordinary beat up sweatpants and like old t-shirt. These are designed to look good, but also, feel good like while you're going to the gym. All right, let's talk about goals and objectives and how we can measure the success of them. So the first goal is increasing awareness of the history and background. The best way to track the success of this is to not only either share the story on their official website or their blog, just, keeping not only that streamlined, but also just making people aware of it. The best way to do this and to track the success of it would be through the click-through rate on the website and or blog. And then just seeing like if it resonates with people and then like seeing if there's some sort of click through or gateway from looking at the story, reading their history, and then buying something after. That's the first one. The second one is hyping up customers' posts and Legends clothing. and featured articles to increase engagement and brand loyalty. So in other words, even though Legends does hype up celebrities wearing the brands, I think it's also really great for them to also really hype up the Legends community. And, if they see like customers that are wearing their products, like repost them on the Instagram story, repost them like on your feed. Ultimately, that will drive more engagements and brand loyalty because they're getting recognized and noticed. And the best way to track this would be through more positive comments, mentions, or likes. And then lastly, the third and final goal is expanding to additional social media platforms to increase brand awareness. So ultimately, not just sticking to Instagram, going to other platforms, really making your name known. And then the best way to track this is through seeing performance across all 3 channels. Like, are people seeing it? Are people engaging with it? Are people liking it? Are they not liking it? Just ultimately really seeing other channels just being used and noticed. Alrighty, now here's the social media platforms to consider. I identified 3, which is Twitter, Pinterest, and TikTok. So the reason for Twitter is because Twitter is known to be a platform for tweeting bite-sized information and spreading news. With Twitter, even by promoting athletes who support Legends, this would promote retweets through a variety of different accounts, such as like news outlets for sports, fashion accounts, and even fitness accounts. Next, we have Pinterest. So Pinterest is like a mood board place for both men and women. Fitness or fashion are really popular like boards that people create on Pinterest. And Legends has the ability to spread awareness through promoted pins while still staying true to their brand's image and promoting quality products for working out and repping modern fashion. So they really do kind of work their way through both fitness and fashion. And, they stay true to the brand's image by really promoting these like quality products. All right, and then lastly, we have TikTok. So TikTok is known to be the favorite platform for video snippets, especially because they promote the fashion and fitness community. Although TikTok is known to be a Gen Z app, videos from TikTok frequently get recycled or also posted onto other social media platforms like Twitter and Instagram for an older audience to enjoy. So I don't know what it is about TikTok, but they always seem to manage to leave TikTok and show up elsewhere. So it's kind of a cool thing to see that TikTok works its way around. All right, now let's talk about influencer marketing. So influencer marketing is an excellent way for fans to feel closer with their favorite celebrities. Not only does influencer marketing promote sales, but it ultimately generates more brand awareness and provides more word of mouth through social media. So for instance, oh, did you see like Rihanna is promoting this brand? Like that's just one example of that. Influencer marketing appears more genuine and people are more likely to listen to their favorite celebrities than they would to an advertisement, or if they see it's like, oh, paid ad, without any name or face behind it. So I don't even think I need to fully explain, but here are the 3 suggested influencers that I came up with: LeBron James, Tom Brady, and Steph Curry, all professional athletes. So to utilize these influencers, they would be through a paid ambassador program, and we would give them the option to basically create 4 posts from the list above. They can mix and match, do like doubles, whatever it may be. And here are these sample things that they can create. The first one is videos of them training in Legends clothing. So, hitting up the gym, hitting up the court, wearing Legends like hoodies and stuff. The next would be candids walking on the court or fields. The next would be paparazzi sightings. So for instance, Steph Curry is spotted on a date with Ayesha Curry, like wearing a Legends hoodie. That's just one example. And then fourth and finally, we have selfies of them wearing Legends clothing. So for instance, like Steph could take a picture with all of his kids and he just so happens to be wearing a Legends hoodie. And it just feels like more like chill and comfortable. And it's nothing that's like forced or looks forced. So again, 4 posts from the list above can be in any way they like. And then I actually did some fun math and actually looked into how much it costs to have these celebrities for promotions. And this is what I came up with. So the cost of having them would be $2 million for 4 posts. So I know what you're probably thinking, wait, that's expensive. So yes, it is expensive. It is a costly investment. However, by requiring them to do only 4 posts, we really take on the approach that less is more. If we have them posting too regularly about Legends, it'll really come across as like disingenuous or like spam for their followers, but they're like, oh my gosh, like Steph Curry cannot stop talking about Legends. Like we get it, like you're sponsored. So we do not want people to have that reaction. By allowing them the freedom to post pictures of themselves like right before a game, or even post pictures of them like wearing the clothing with like a selfie with their kids, it really allows them to still be themselves and have those options for how they want to show the content. On top of that, people want to buy the brand for authenticity, not only coming from their favorite athletes, but they want the brand to be authentic too. So ultimately, we don't want them or influencers to act like someone that they are not. And by doing this, this is the best way to promote Legends. All right, so for the next part of who can we have for paid reposts or reshare? So this is definitely something I really want to consider. So it's like, yes, like LeBron James posts something. Okay, but what if Barstool Sports reposted it? Like think about how much engagement and like growth and like brand awareness there would be if we have these different people reposting that content on top of already having LeBron James talking about us. So here are the couple of platforms that I identified that we could also pay to repost or reshare that content. The first is Barstool Sports. The second is Bleacher Report, which actually already does support Legends. The next would be us controlling our own side of it. So basically the O or owned part in Peso. And then lastly, I actually wanted to identify 2 places that are for the everyday person, since it does come across like, oh, is this only for celebrities? No, it is not. Equinox and Barry's Bootcamp are 2 of the most popular gyms for the everyday person as of right now. So why not have them also hyping up the fact that like, oh my gosh, these people are wearing Legends. This is a brand for everyone. All right, let's talk about my paid media plan. So I outlined a budget for all 3, Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest. Instagram is at 30,000, TikTok is at 30,000, and Pinterest is at 10,000. So ultimately, there would be a lot of promotions through like the paid influencers that we have, on top of just like different like promoted videos on TikTok. And then lastly, on Pinterest, we would do the promoted pins. That would be geared towards people who are having an interest in fitness or fashion. On top of that, we took a psychographic segmentation part. So we were really focused on the personalities and interests. And then lastly, we would track this through the CPC and CTA, so the call to action and the cost per click. Alrighty, so here's just some examples that I put together for what the paid promotions on Pinterest would look like. So we have the Hawthorne Tech Zip, the Relay Shorts, and the Vertical Spotlight Sock. Here's a sample of a paid promotion on Instagram. So this was actually Justin Bieber for one of their recent basketball games that they hosted. And this is a really great way to really show like, oh, like celebrities care about our brand. And especially with someone as big as Justin Bieber, people are definitely gonna wanna look at this. And then lastly, here's an example of a TikTok promotion. This is basically an example of like a style me video, since people really love these kinds of videos, especially if they're in the fashion community of like, how would I style this? And then lastly, here is our social media posting and what everything looks like. So Instagram would be 2 posts every other day. TikTok would be 2 posts every 3 days. Twitter would be 1 tweet every other day. And then Pinterest would be 2 to 3 pins every other day. So the content would definitely range like from like TikTok being like more like how to style, like motivation type videos, like how did we make this? Instagram would definitely still have a little bit of a like promoted side to it, but also just like a regular posting of like maybe their clothes. Twitter would take more of a funny approach because people love memes and like little bite-sized like humor. So I think that would be a really great thing, as well as sneak peeks of product shots. And then lastly, Pinterest would definitely still do the promoted pins, but also like regular postings, whether that's of celebrities wearing the clothes or like how to style things. All right, and then since I already showed content examples for some of the paid stuff or just content examples in general, like for TikTok, I did want to do some content ideas for something like Twitter, as well as just a more casual post for Legends on Instagram. So on Instagram, I was thinking they could really hype up the hashtag We Are Legends, since that is something that they don't hype up enough. I think they could also do fitness tips. I think that's something that people really care about within the community, as well as hashtags that call out the different days that they are posting, like hashtag Monday Motivation, which is actually featured on their blog, or hashtag Throwback Thursday. So I think by streamlining Monday Motivation across their blog and Instagram, I think that would be a really great way to just kind of keep people engaged and be like, oh, like they also talk about it on their blog, right? So I think that's a really great thing to do. And then, as I talked about earlier, Twitter is definitely a place for like humor and people to laugh. So keep it like short and sweet. It's like a self promo with a mixture of like even some like paid promos here and there. I think this would just be a really great way to just get the ball rolling, especially since at the end of the day, people love Twitter for being as like outspoken and just kind of random as possible. So it's a really great way to go about it. All right, so that basically concludes the end of my presentation. Thank you so much to Professor Brito for guiding me through this and really helping me learn a lot about social media and the marketing aspect. I had a really great semester, and thank you.